Welcome to Soul Elevation, guiding your ascension to new heights. I'm your host, Kara Goodwin. Thanks for being here with me today. It's Monday, January 26th. And if you normally catch my live streams live, which most of you catch them in the recording, whether that's on YouTube or the audio recording, you'll know that this is a really unusual time for me to go live. I try to go live a couple of times a week, but usually it's in the morning and we're in late afternoon here. So it's a weird feeling for me. I almost didn't do it because I was like, no, it's too late now. But this is one of the things that I try to implement within my own life is to not get too stuck in routine or in how I always do things. It can be really easy for us as humans to be like, well, I go live in the morning if I go and or lunchtime or whatever it is. And if you don't, then you feel like you've missed the chance. Or it's the same thing like if you always have coffee at the same time and you have your routine where you do this and then you do that, and it's always like I can't do this until I've done that. I just challenge myself, and I challenge you as well, to try to get out of some of those habits, because we can get into like the comfort, but it can really keep us stuck energetically. It can make it so that we aren't really tapping into our creative force. We're not stretching ourselves. We're not really extending ourselves, but we're rather just living in such a rote way, such a mechanical way. And again, there can feel safety in that, but I encourage you to test it out. Notice where you've got these comfort zones and make sure that you're not getting stuck or too stiff or mechanized in your ways. So here I am stretching myself. I'm in the energy of a different time of day that I normally am. So you're going to just see me. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. Maybe I'm terrible at these this time of day. Who knows? Or maybe I'm going to tap into some energy that I wouldn't have had access to otherwise. But what I want to talk about today is this key that I try to keep in mind, but that can become hidden in in my path as I move through my life and as challenges come in. And that is that God is in everything. And I say God, you can think of it as the universe, the cosmic intelligence, whatever divine aspect or however you look at life in a divine way. But it is within everything. And so when you're undergoing a challenge, it can be easy to think that you are, you know, not in the flow with God and or not in the flow of divinity. And the thing that this makes me really think of is that my one of my children had a major surgery a little over a year ago. And I knew that this surgery was a potential for years leading up to it. And I did everything I could to try to avoid this surgery. And I tried a lot of different remedies, a lot of different therapies, a lot of anything I could find, whether it was energy stuff, whether it was like physical things, exercises, supplements, homeopathy, all of these things, anything I could think of and that I came across that might help, that would avoid surgery. And it soon became apparent that we needed the surgery and we'd kind of run out of options. And it was a really hard thing for me to go through as a parent, especially because I live in a world where I am not as gung ho about traditional Western medical intervention as I once was. When I was living just a regular mainstream life, I wouldn't have given it a second thought. You know, a doctor says you need surgery, you need surgery. And I still am not in that place where I can say, okay, if a doctor is going to tell me that me or one of my kids needs surgery, I'm not gonna just go, okay, let me sign. In fact, with this one, when they said, okay, she needs surgery, it's progressed enough, the next step is surgery, the surgeon was like, just make your appointment on the way out. And I was like horrified that they thought that I would just schedule this huge surgery on my way out. It was like, wait a minute, I need to research this. I need to think about this. I need to make sure that there's absolutely no other option. And eventually I got to that point of acceptance. But because I had that mindset and because I still have that mindset, I was so conflicted because it was, the health of my child, is paramount, right? And there was a big part of me that knew there was a problem and I wanted to do anything in my power to help her. And I also had this belief or this understanding of medical, traditional modern medicine that made me very cautious. That I understand that it's not always in our best interest. And these were very conflicting, opposing places to be. I was in such a difficult situation. And I prayed so much leading up to this and going through it. I mean, even with as apprehensive as I was, we did go through it and it was really, really hard for a long time. There was a long recovery. And I prayed so much going into it. I prayed so much going through it. Um, I had prayers from all over the world. Thank you so much if you're watching this and you were part of that, from the bottom of my heart. I thank you so much. But what I want to share, why I'm talking about this today, is because what really helped me to get out of that conflicting middle ground was understanding that God uses everything. God uses everything to answer our prayers and to help us in our time of need. And that includes surgeons, that includes surgical instruments, that includes medicine, that includes the anesthesia, the blood transfusions, the of the what are they called? The like morphine, pain control, the can't think of, you know what I mean, like morphine and what is it that you take afterwards, like oxy and all of these things that are scary thing. They were scary for me to consider, and they were all happening at once. And so my prayer as I was what I was remembering, what I was reminding myself constantly was God uses everything, and just praying to God to be there and to move through everything. Bless every instrument that is used, bless the surgeon, move through the whole medical team, be in the equipment, the medicine, all of that. And that was my prayer. And we really had oh, thank you, Martina, is saying I needed to hear this. My daughter had to get surgery 3 years ago, and I was struggling thinking, did I do the right thing? I know exactly how you feel. I'm feeling like teary-eyed just bringing this up again. I think I have a lot of unhealed things going through this. And it's been a year. So, but that was my highest prayer, was use everything. And everything in this physical reality is at God's disposal. And so we can use our prayers, we can use our intention. And I also encourage you to listen to an episode that I released recently with Raymond Grace. episode 545, I think it was, because Raymond he is a dowser and he uses a pendulum to dowse, but he works in that episode. I think that you'll be able to hear him talking about changing the energy. And so this, I didn't know about Raymond when I was going through this, but I believe that you can use his method in so many different ways. And one of the ways that you can do that is to, bless the energy, and whether you're using a pendulum and you're using his method or not, it's what matters is your intention and your belief and your knowing and feeling into the fact that you are connected to your guides and to God, and just knowing that pouring those blessings and the love, just picturing, like, for me and Martina, picturing like an operating room with your loved one in there, and just filling it with golden light, with divine light, with love and blessings. And I would also see it a lot as, there just being a room full of divine help, picturing it with angels and guardians, and that all of the staff who were involved had plenty of sleep, and they were divinely inspired, and they were open, and they were having their best day. All of these ways that we can take our intention. And another piece to the work that Raymond does, he actually works through time as well. And a lot of shamans will talk about being able to change time. So, Martina shared here about having the memories of surgery for her daughter 3 years ago, and those things coming in and wondering, did I do the right thing? And you you can even use the present moment to go back in time and bless it. So all the things that I've been talking about, you can go and do that now for something that happened already in the past, and see it with all of the divine help in there and the blessings, and know that even going backwards in time and changing things, or just trying to make it as beneficial, trying to make sure that God is moving through every aspect of it, but in retrospect, it still has a really powerful effect on the present moment and in the future. So if you've been through something like this too, and you still have hard memories from it, and you wonder if you did the right thing, that's what I would recommend. Just know that you can go back. I mean, there's still things that I go back in time. I see, especially around parenting, where I see things you know, that I remember from when my kids were younger, and I don't like how things went. And I don't like, maybe I was had a particular time where I was really not, where I was really too impatient. And looking back, I can see that I was stressed about something else, and I was becoming really impatient with my little kids or something like that. If there are memories like that that stand out, I like to go back in time and not just remember them and regret them, but bless them and let them. And there's the Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. This is such a powerful prayer. And it has such healing abilities, such healing capability in so many ways. Healing in any way that you can possibly imagine. It doesn't have to be like somebody was sick or injured. It can be that just the energy needs to change. So that's another thing you can use, Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Just bring the memory to the surface, hold the memory in your awareness, and bless it in whatever way feels native to you. But you have all these tools at your disposal, and we really are remarkable, remarkable beings. You have so much power within you to bless your life forwards and backwards and sideways and all the ways. But when you do come up with challenges in your life or hard decisions, just always remember that God is in everything. And it might feel like it starts to get out of your control or out of what you think will be the healthiest, best scenario, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you still can bring God in and remember that God uses everything. So even if you don't think it's the best solution, or you think it's actually harmful, but you feel like your back's against the wall, just get into that mindset. God is in everything. God uses everything. And I will say that, despite my reservations and all of the things that I was worried about, we actually had, looking back, the result has been wonderful of what we went through. It was a really, really hard road. It was really hard while she was going through it, while she was recovering. It was a long recovery, but being on the other side of it now, I'm so grateful. We definitely had a great result, even though I was not sure going into it. So, for what that's worth, too, for wherever you find yourself today. So, thank you so much for being here today. And I wish you a beautiful week ahead. And I'll see you next time. Bless you.